Hello, my name is Jamie Baldwin, and I'm here once again on the Healthy Kids Virtual Summit. I'm really excited today. I have Karl Lovas with me today from the Healthy Kids Concept. It's a nonprofit organization that he has founded in 2010, and he's such a sweet, sweet man. So I'm super happy to introduce you guys to him. Hi, Karl. How are you?
I'm great, Jamie, and so are you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you started Healthy Kids Concepts?
Well, for the last 20 years, I've been in the food industry as a consultant, and most of that started off as a business consultant and marketing and things of that nature, and then it evolved into creating products, and I started realizing the difference in products, so I wanted people to make responsible products. And one thing led to another. I had the last contract. We arranged a buyout of the contract, and I said, I'm going to start Healthy Kids, and here we are. It's a nonprofit that we started with not the goal of going out and getting a bunch of grants. We have a little bit of money. It's not going to last too long, but I wanted to find people who had the expertise, who could put their energies into it, and work for $1 a month.
Okay.
And my team is just exactly like that. They're passionate about the whole program, and I'm very proud of who we have and the type of people. As a matter of fact, Willow, who is part of the C&J Nutrition Group, was just on the Today Show yesterday, and introducing the winners of the Self Magazine food contest for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. And she had a lot of fun. But it's the type of person that we have. They write regularly for different people, and they're both double mastered graduates of Tufts University, and they bring a lot of credibility to our organization, and we're thankful for that.
Hmm.
And then the company has Marisa Hawk, who was Jamie Oliver's producer, way back when we all knew Jamie Oliver trying to fight the school system. When Jamie moved to England, I called her and I said, I haven't got $1 million a year to pay you, but how about $1 a month? And she says, where do I sign? We're like-minded, and this goes on and on and on, so it just gets better all the time.
Very awesome.
So we can focus on our target and not raising money to meet salary. That puts us in a different place.
Right.
We can be national, we can be international, which we are already, because we can reach out. Nutrition is nutrition, no matter where you are. The problem is there, and the team is ready to do what they need to do to make life a little better for all the kids in this world, and maybe the parents too along the way.
So now, is that what you would say makes Healthy Kids Concept different? Is just the team that you have?
You have to say that again.
I will. I was saying, is that what makes it Healthy Kids Concept different? Is the team that you have working for you for the $1 a month that you pay them?
Yeah. Well, what makes it different is instead of working in each city or in our city for the kids in our backyard, we're finding the worker bees, the charities that are already there. And we're doing what we can to support them with all kinds of materials, studies. We've created a 5-color-a-day program, which everybody has, but not exactly the same way. It must be good because everybody has it. But we have been working with the Heart Association, and they have 2 terrific programs. One is Kids Cook with Heart, and that's for the older kids. And then they also have the teaching gardens. So I convinced a blender company, Blendtec Corporation, to donate hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of blenders to the schools to help that program be more successful. We're loving that relationship because they're hard workers. Every city that we're in with them, we're seeing results. And the kids are actively participating in the solutions to the problems and liking the methods. So we're finding where we can tie corporate interests together with charities and come out with a winning combination, particularly if we can get the parents to sign up for it and be
Right.
supportive. That's the magical part of it.
Uh-huh. So can you
Like
tell us a little bit about what you do when you bring these blenders into the schools?
um, it the cost is all borne by the Blendtec Corporation. It costs us a little bit to go work with them and set their programs up. We might want to work with a couple of the trainers to say, here's some ideas, but not much.
Uh-huh.
It costs Blendtec an awful lot of money. If you put a dollar value on it, they've probably given us well over $100,000 worth of blenders the last 12 months, and we're looking to double and triple it.
Wow.
It's good for them. I think they have a corporate conscience, and I like that. They do care, and they could sell these blenders and put a lot of profit in there, but these are rebuilds. And it's much better if they put them in the hands of cooking classes.
Mm-hmm. Especially for kids.
Absolutely, and this is what we're talking about. I have several schools where we've been involved with the cooking classes. We work with some of the community offices. There's a rabbi in Sacramento, Rabbi David, we call him, and he started a new program, and they've had cook-offs going with the executive chefs in the community helping out. And the kids, when you look in their eyes, you can see the sparkle, you can see the enthusiasm. And 2 years ago, they never even gave it a thought. But now,
Right.
thoroughly entrenched, and they love what they're doing, and they love the results and the attaboys. One thing we did learn with this whole program, Jamie, is in order for kids to do well, they need purpose.
Okay.
And in school, they sometimes just exist. And once they're given purpose and they have tangible results, it's like a scorecard, they're getting more and more positive rocks. And they start feeling better about themselves. They're wide open and tuned into the idea of being healthier and eating healthier and being their own contributors.
Right, right.
It's a very important part of what we do that brings about that terrific reaction with the kids.
Right. So now one of the things that when you go into these schools, you teach them about the different colors of the rainbow and why they should eat it. Can you give us some examples of this? Why do we need our different colors?
Okay, let me, I'll back that up.
Okay.
When I first recognized this, I was asked by a group of dietitians 4 years ago to come to a school district and talk to kids. And they asked me which class I wanted to talk to, and it was kindergarten. And when I went to that class, and there's 65 kindergarten kids, I learned that there was somebody over there teaching these kids about the labels on different packaged foods, and well, the average age was like 5.5 or 6.
Yeah.
And what I saw was the kids were looking all around the room trying to figure out, why did we sign up for this, or whatever was going through their mind. It wasn't on what he was saying. And he went on for 45 minutes. And I thought, oh my God, they're all worn out, and they didn't, their eyes were rolled back, and they didn't want to know any more about what's on that label. So I put a clown nose on and a white smock, and I said, I'm Dr. Smoothie, and I'm going to tell you about the color red. And when I started talking about who's the guy that flies through the air and jumps over tall buildings in a single bound, and he wears a cape, what color was that cape? And they all know it was a red cape. I said, you know what? Superman eats a lot of red food, and you know what the red food, apples, strawberries, things like that. And it makes him stronger. He can run faster, so forth and so forth. I have their 100% attention at that moment. That's important. No attention, then nothing is learned.
Right.
So we learned real fast that we have to bring that subject to life, and we have to merchandise just like the candy bar guys do. We have to make it exciting to the kid. They can dip a piece of cardboard in chocolate and sell it and make billions of dollars, and the kids they're not getting anything nutritious. But we want to do the same thing. We have to merchandise to our kids.
Yep.
If we want to do something good, they have to get excited about it and want to sign up. Let's go. The same is true about athletic activities. You know, a lot of times, my kids, at first, I don't want to play soccer. I said, come on, you're going to love it. And once they got out there, now they can't wait for the next soccer game. So you have to get something going to motivate these kids. And I think that's one of the things that we're lacking. We're so worried, Jamie, about what they might do wrong. If they make a smoothie in their class, oh, somebody's going to poison somebody else, and we're going to get sued. I don't know about you, but when I raised my kids, and there's been 6 of them, the message I wanted to get across was, hey, guys, I want you to be excited about living, and I want you to get out there and go for the gusto. I want you to do something great in this world because you can, and look how good you are. I don't want them to be too afraid to get out of bed in the morning because somebody might sue them. So I think, especially in the state of California, we're sending the wrong message to our kids and the school districts. So enough of that. But our program is different because we take each color. There's a lot of 5-color programs and eat a rainbow of colors. That's kind of confusing to kids. What about red? What about green? Green's the most important color. And you know why. It's photosynthesis, right? And if there was no green, there wouldn't be any other colors. But who's the guy that can eat a can of spinach and beat up Bruno? Most of the
Popeye!
Popeye, right. So we bring some life to it, and at the same time, they're learning. There's more to the program than that, but basically, that's the beginning. That's the catalyst there, to get people on board, excited and enthusiastic, and get the kids to buy in. So it takes a little bit of tap dancing to do that, and to have fun. And who wouldn't want to have fun?
So you're capturing their attention. You're giving them a purpose, so they know that when they eat the red food that they're going to get strong, and when they eat the green food their bones are going to grow and things like that. And then that's how in turn they learn and internalize it, and then they just start eating a rainbow every day.
Well, there's more to it than that. The girls want to know that they're going to be beautiful from the inside out, and they're going to save $1 million in makeup, right? That's important. But those are the things that I felt were important. Why are we putting all this emphasis on nutrition and so forth? We have a $146 billion problem in this country. 10% of that problem, and that's all obesity. 10% of it's childhood obesity. In the next 20 years, if we don't fix this problem, it's going to be $400 to $500 billion, and I don't know if we have enough payroll in this country to cover the cost of that. How long are people going to live if we continue this route? What we intend to do is to form a big army of like-minded thinkers that want to put a stop to it, put a stick in the spokes of that bicycle. Let's stop it from going that direction. Let's start it in another direction that's more fun, it's healthier, and everybody wins.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
That's great. So now when you merchandise to kids, what kind of activities do you guys have for them?
Well, it's not that what we have, it's what each charity has.
Okay.
An example, in Sacramento, there's the Chinese, American Chinese Community Center, which is the oldest charity in this area, about 30 years old. And they work 1,000 to 1,500 hours a month with kids in all the schools. Nobody really knows about them. They're just worker bees. And they have a big staff, and they make a difference. They're working with the kids. We like the programs that they have, but what we're trying to encourage is they start off by teaching kids where these foods are grown, or where do they come from. That's simple, because kids think that foods come from supermarkets or the convenience store. They don't realize they're planted and they grow. And so we try to support those activities where they actually grow their own food. and there's companies that specialize in things that they can use. We try to associate with those companies to get them deals, get them some planter boxes free, so the kids can grow their own pizza in a box. All the vegetables that go in there, they now know where it comes from. They can transplant them to their garden at the school if it's there, or at home. All those are things that started going. And then to take a visit to a farmer's market and have them talk to the farmers. And now we're working on getting the farmers and the kids together, where the kids can talk about the colors with the farmers. And if the farmers can lay their food out in the form of the 5 colors, it's very meaningful to the kids. And they put little signs in those 5 colors, and we get an interactive activity here where they're having fun, they're learning, and they're participating in life.
Right.
Wouldn't it be nice then to take the produce home that they buy there or grow in their ground and get together with mom and dad or big sister, whoever, and start learning how to cook with that? They can participate. And I know that you're going to have Lisa Fontanesi on, who's one of our well-known chefs. Lisa's fantastic with that. See, we bring people like Lisa. We have Missy Lapine that wrote the Sneaky Chef book. And we want to get more and more fun activities like that with kids, because they do like it. They have fun. And they learn a skill that I think is missing anymore. When I went to school, it was a lot different, and I walked through 5 miles to school through the snow, all that kind of stuff.
Barefoot?
Yeah, and that way they weren't kidding. There were no buses, but in Buffalo, New York. But we did have to take a home ec class in order to graduate from high school, believe it or not. And they started in grade school, and we all learned to cook simple things. And that was a requirement. I don't see that in too many schools anymore. So I think we're missing. We're getting so lost with academia that we're forgetting some basics that help there. Music, all of the arts, all of those things are part of that total package of having a well-rounded human being that's going to college and going to make a difference in the world.
Right.
So that's why we try to tailor-make it to fit the programs that are there and be an influence when we think they can be improved. Heart Association, I think we've done that. We're in more and more cities with them, and it just keeps going and going and going. I talked this morning with the people in the Oakland office of the Heart Association. We just got them 80 blenders to start their summer program for all their schools. And they already have the 5 colors going and working, because they see the benefits of it. And then we have another little charity there. He's not really a charity, but he's filed, and that's the original organic gardener. And he's a young guy in his 20s, and I love him. Yes, he's in their schools and digging in the ground with the kids, and he's doing all the right things, and we want to support his activity, and we've introduced him to the Heart Association so they can work together in the same area. Now
so he's only 20, and he's the original one?
Well, that's his name. The original organic gardener. He's a terrific young guy. And he's becoming a charity, but he's way ahead of himself. He's out there doing a lot of good things with the kids. We're working with another organization here in Sacramento that works with foster kids. They're very special. What happens to these foster kids after they're 18? Well, if they have some skills and ideas, they have some place to go, and we can help in that case, because they need to learn how to cook. They're going to be cooking for themselves sometimes sooner rather than later. So all of these things are kind of important, and we try to tie it in. In Pennsylvania, we have Kristen Ritter, Performance Food Group, and they're working with kids, and they're bringing produce to the schools at only a cost to getting it there. And for the snack shops and for the vending machines, at no profit to themselves, and these are products that we would approve of, and just about anybody else, Center for Science and the rest of them, would approve of. And we're trying to help them add another wrinkle to their program and start the 5-color program with those schools and interface with the Heart Association and others that are there. So that's how we're growing this thing and moving it out. It's an effort of love, nothing more.
I was just going to say, you're spreading the love all over. I love it.
Well, there's certain things that I think we have to start off with. The most important byproduct of this program has to be a better personal image of yourself. The kids have to feel good about who they are. Mm-hmm. Have to believe in the fact they can be somebody in this world. They can be important. If they don't have that to begin with, we're just fighting an uphill battle, and we have to find that element first. And bringing that element together with exercise and nutritious education and eating and cooking is the beginning of a good basis of survival. Mm-hmm. Emotional and physical survival. Self-worth is the most important thing we can give our kids. And our responsibility as parents is to make our kids feel good about themselves and be independent, capable of making their own decisions in life, and not to depend on some system, a corporation, or otherwise. And I think that this is that part of this program as well, because we want to encourage those things that give them better feelings about themselves and they give them positive results in the steps in their activities.
Right.
I'm not the best teacher. I can get excited about it, but we have incredible people that make the difference. And all I am is the orchestra leader. I just make sure they all show up and the parts are all played.
Yeah, but they all attract you because they're the same as you. You're just fabulous.
No.
That's how you attract them. That's what it is.
No, I think we have a common belief, and you'd be surprised at how many people say, yes, I'll help. Mm-hmm. When you just simply ask them.
Right.
And, you got to pull the string and say, yes. Wouldn't you want to do this?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to do better. They just don't know how. Or so when someone asks them, they're just like, yes, I'll do it. So, and especially when you say it's for the kids.
There's two things in life you have to learn real fast, and one is to show up for life.
Okay.
You have to show up, and then you have to put one foot in front of the other. Mm-hmm. Without those two elements, you won't get anywhere. So, are you willing to show up? And and there's a third element, and you have to believe to the extent that the only way that you could ever fail is to quit. If you never quit, you'll always succeed.
Yeah.
That's something we need more of.
Uh-huh.
And it does work. It's I think I've done pretty good. I got a bunch of kids that are all entrepreneurs, starting companies and doing things. And we had a mixed bag when we got married. We were the newly formed Brady Bunch, and they're not all on the same page. But I think they're all successful in their own right, and we're very proud of everything.
They've all shown up to life? You
betcha. And they're carving new roads for others to learn from.
Uh-huh. Very cool. I love it's super simple, your ideas on how to get kids to love cooking and learning about foods and which foods to eat and just staying healthy. I think that's what we need to get back to, is just the simplicity of it. And just teach them because they're willing to listen and learn.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be taught. But when you have a 5-year-old rolling their eyeballs and looking at the label on something, I think we need to start somewhere. The beginning is somewhere other than that. When they learn the beginning, they're going to want to know the differences, and the new label laws are going to make that possible. But you have to get them to buy in before they play the game.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what we're attempting to do. That's the first step, and then it goes from there. I think the other thing that I've realized, and this is a very different thing. We had to recycle my grandson, who was a little hard to handle for my daughter in the school system where he was, and also she was full-time working in retail. And so he came and stayed with us for 2 years, and he did well. But he used to roll his eyes when I would say, "Okay, Drake, you don't want to eat that. This is better than that." This is. And then I showed him Jamie Oliver's movies about how McDonald's makes their
chicken nuggets
products. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that made a big impact on him, but he wouldn't give in. He'd come home with a 32-ounce from the local convenience store. This is where his peers had a little more to do with impressing him than I did. But in his senior year, he signed up for extra credits by going to the grade school and working in the cafeteria. I went to that grade school to see what he was doing, and he didn't even know I was there. And I'm listening to this kid. I thought it was me talking to the kid. So he did learn something. He just didn't want me to know it. What I've also learned is that he does care, and he somehow or another, through osmosis or otherwise, it got through. These kids, as they get older, if they do learn some basics, you might not think they know it, but they hear everything and they participate. He's a good cook. He's not too bad at it. But later on in life, this manifests itself in perpetuating it again to the kids that he's around. They become wonderful mentors. So if we have a program and then we get our graduates who now are in the higher grades of school, we want to bring them back to give their experiences to the little kids. And wherever we can do that, these little kids are sitting right on the edge of their seat because they want to be more like the big kids.
I was just going to say that comes back into the peer pressure of it all.
And you know, it works. It works. The enthusiasm level picks up. And the other thing that I want to tell you is we need to make sure the parents are on board. One of the forms that we're working on right now, and it's not a legal form, it's a tri-party agreement between parents, teachers, and the kids. And it says, we're going to do this. I understand, and I am going to support it. If we're all on the same page in the songbook, we can sing the same song. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I've had classes where we've been involved, and then I found 3 doors down, there's a teacher giving Cokes and potato chips away as an award. And what kind of a mixed message is that sending the same kids? She's going to see these kids in a little while. So we want to try to get a code of uniformity that everybody understands and agrees to. It's for everybody's benefit. That's one of the things that I think is really important. It's just like the state of California. They had a big show in a park with 5,000 attendees, and all of the state offices that were supporting nutrition were there. And guess what they were giving away to the kids?
What?
Candy, suckers. I took a picture and sent it to Jerry Brown and said, what lesson are we giving these kids? The whole purpose of this meeting in the park, and it was fun for the kids, was to promote health and nutrition.
Where's the apples and bananas, people?
Well, for sure. But you can see how this kid, we really have this mindset that kids like sugar.
Yeah.
So they'll come to our place and talk, because I'm going to give them lollipops. But they liked ours. We have a lot of manufacturers. One of the things we do is we analyze food products, and we have a criteria. If they meet our criteria, we will send them an award, a certificate of approval, and giving them the reward for producing a meaningful product. We did that with one guy. He makes a bar, and it's called That's It. And it's only got one ingredient, and that's fruit. The reason why I named it That's It is because everybody said, when they read that ingredient, that's it. And the bar. Lior, he's an MD. He's an MBA. He spent most of his professional life in research, and he decided that he just wanted to make a healthy bar. Now he's in every Whole Foods. I guess Starbucks is bringing him on nationwide.
Okay.
And your local grocery store, you'll see That's It bars. They're really healthy. We recommend them. Why not have them in a snack bar at school?
Yeah.
We can get a special price for them, and it would work.
Right.
So I don't want to take up all your time here, but I want to answer all your questions. So what's the next question, Jamie?
I love just listening to you talk. You cover everything. Basically, I really wanted to cover. I mean, like you had said, I wanted to cover the rainbow. I wanted to cover the cooking and teaching them how to cook, because I think that's a super important lesson for them. They take it home and they get to do it, and so.
Well, I think with Lisa will do that as good.
Yeah, she did. I actually have already interviewed her. She did a fabulous job. She's a lot of energy too. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's what you want, you know. Lisa has a family; she's got to make a living. But I asked her if she'd come up and work with us for an area for parents and kids that come to a meeting, and we got one of the grocery stores to donate the space, and we put up a whole bunch of cooking stations.
Cool.
A parent, why not? Because everybody involved in the community, and you'll get good results.
Right.
Best you possibly can. And she says, "You betcha. Let me know when it's going to happen. I'll move some things around." Her attitude is yes, let's do it, and that's the type of person I think it takes in everything we all do. That's what this Healthy Kids Concepts is all about. We have people with attitudes of let's do it. And they're well trained. We even have a couple of PhDs in there, and we all learn from them. You know, they tell us a lot of things, but we want to make sure that we're right, and that we also want to make sure that we have got on board all the people who make a difference. The kids have to know that their parents, their teachers, the school district, and other teachers all are on the same page. That I think goes incredibly well to be successful in this kind of a program. We are trying to put the stick in the spokes. I can only thank people like Blendtec Corporation, all the things that they're doing to help us. And we've got a couple of other corporations now working on some programs, getting materials to kids. There's one program I'm working on we would like to be a part of, and that's the after-school program that the kids are in. It's 4-H and also junior achievement. They're 100 years old. They're wonderful. These are the people. These are the organizations that will work with the kids after the school's over with, and help them in every kind of concept that you can deliver. And this is pretty important. We want to be a part of all of these things. We want kids to look for our seal of approval. It's not ours, it's everybody's. We don't charge for those things because I don't. There's some of these organizations will charge $5,000 and you can put it on your product. I don't know if it's really approved or they got the $5,000. In our case, it's for real. They're going to get the approval. We approve it. Period.
Right.
We don't want any money. That's the way it is. And as long as we can keep doing what we're doing, that'll be the case. We are doing some work in Canada. I have a distributor in Australia that's interested in developing it, and we have one of our directors is in Istanbul. And they make the portion control bowls and plates. They're called Yum Yum bowls and plates. And we're going to give that away to anybody that writes in and asks for it.
The bowls?
Yeah. Well, we got to be. It's going to be a prize along with one of the blenders in a raffle. But we're going to give away our 5 color pads.
Yay!
To anybody, just send an address, phone number, and email, and then we'll put you automatically in a raffle. The prices are the Blendtec 3-horsepower blender. It's a phenomenal blender.
Uh-huh.
And Yum Yum bowls and plates. They're fantastic. Uh, what's a portion of peaches? Is it that big or is it that big?
Uh-huh.
Supposed to be whatever you can fit in the palm of your hand. Well, my hand's bigger than yours, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
So these have real proportions. They have little plastic lids that you put on top, so you can package them, put them in the refrigerator, so kids can come home and open them up, and they get a serving of fruit or a serving of veggies.
Mm-hmm.
They're cool. So we want to encourage people to do that, and we'll certainly get them a nice big discount card if they don't win the raffle. We just want to promote people who do good things. This is a company that operates without profit.
Right.
And because they care.
Right. And I want to say too, on your website, you have the download that's a PDF, and it says all the colors and what they're good for. And in my house, we've been printing them off, and my little 6-year-old son, every meal he takes it, and he's been checking it off with the colored crayon.
That's
and
right.
He's really grasping it. And I think it was for breakfast yesterday. He didn't have anything that was blue, and so he was like racking his brain, and so he went and got the blueberries and he put them in his oatmeal, and he was like, yes. And then we made the smoothie, and there was pineapple, and he'd forgotten that was yellow, and so he was like, oh, I can mark off yellow. And then we put the kale in the smoothie, and he was so excited because that was another color that he could mark off. And by the time dinner came around, he was just like thrilled because he'd gotten all of them. So it's really a cool concept for the kids.
It's not that hard, and we have a professional blogger, Erica. This is I'll send anybody a copy of what she wrote, but basically, Erica's on TV shows. She got her own show every now and then. You'll see her, but she picked up the pads from my dietitians. Didn't tell her little girl what it's all about, and about 3 days after she dropped him off. Her daughter, so only 4 years old, said, Mommy, I can't find anything that's orange to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want orange to eat? She says, well, that's the only one I haven't checked off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Erica said, oh my God, she gets it.
Yeah.
And she never even said anything to her, just gave her like to play with.
And it's funny you say orange, because my son the other day was like, Mom, we only have 1 carrot left in the fridge, and I'm going to eat the whole thing. And he sat there and ate the whole carrot, and I was just thinking to myself, I don't think I've ever seen you eat a whole carrot. Like, you only eat the little ones that I cut for you. I'm just going to start leaving them in the fridge now because I know you eat them.
Well, it's to simplify it into bite-sized pieces that the kids can relate to. I mean, in the kindergarten class, we have little coloring pages. This is the red page. We don't identify. They need to identify the produce that's there.
Yeah.
Hold up a pomegranate. Most kids don't know what that is. And a apple on the other side. So which is the apple and which is the pomegranate? And a tomato. These are all one food group. What group is that? And they don't know. Okay, pomegranate, tomato, and an apple all have seeds. Okay, so that's all fruit. And they're all red. And then you set that aside, and at the end of the class, we're all set for them to make a red smoothie in that blender, and they go through the process. They got Lisa's got these plastic knives that she can cut.
She showed us.
And we make sure they go in the right way. Oh, the teacher knows that too. And they serve each other a drink at the end of the class. We want 5 duplications of the message, 5 different ways through that period of the time they're learning. I have a friend who's a psychologist who works with kids, and he says the magic is 5 times. You got to repeat it 5 different ways, and they'll retain it. And when they go home, it was such an experience that, incidentally, in that class, when I got done, and this was after this other guy worked him over on the labels, I got 65 hugs. And then I got emails from the kids after the class was over because their parents were so enthusiastic about their what they learned that they wanted to take it home. So you can win. It's just that you got to get their attention. We have to merchandise.
Yeah. And I bet the guy that was teaching them how to read the labels didn't get 65 hugs.
There's plenty of times that we need to teach them everything that's on the label, but there's a time and place. We need to teach them to like the food, to understand it, that the food that's grown and comes from the ground or on trees or in bushes or whatever is the good food. And the stuff that's manufactured, we don't know. And yeah, you're going to have to read the label. You don't see a label on an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know. We're now discovering the magic of polyphenols in the apple is greater than almost anything. There's a science going on in Quebec City, and they're sending me some extracts of apples, and those polyphenols are so powerful they can help retain your enthusiasm and your satiety, even as a senior. It helps your level of feeling of competence. This is like 8th or 9th year of the study. They got another 8 or 9 years to go. Wow, apple's a magical product. We can talk about carrots the same way. You know, we're now learning so much about carrots. It's not just good for your eyes, it's good for a lot of things. The kids will learn all that. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of time, but we want them to learn first how to learn and to be receptive to learning. Then everything else flows, and and then they'll come back and teach the other kids the same way. And that's what we want it.
All right, Karl, you're awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. And I want to let all the viewers know that he did say that there's going to be a raffle, and he's going to be he's raffling off a BlendTech blender. And make sure you go on his website, healthykidsconcepts.com. Is that right? Not .org? Mm-hmm. And email him.
.org.
.org, okay. And email him with your name, your address, and your phone number that you want to be entered into his raffle, and he will let you know. He will contact you when you're the winner. He'll let us know too. We can contact you. Make sure you check out his website he's got the PDF for the Rainbow a Day. He also said that he would send anybody those too. So.
All right. And Jimmy, let me make one correction.
Of course.
Email Karl, me, at healthykidsconcepts.org.
Okay.
I'm sure it's going to be fulfilled.
I will have the link on their little email that they're going to get to watch this video. So it'll be right under there for you.
Jimmy, I appreciate all the good things you're doing, and you got such a great personality to do this. I'm glad to know you.
Oh, thank you, Karl. I'm super happy you joined us. And you've even connected us with a few of our other experts. So thank you for that too. So, okay. All right. Thanks, Karl.
Thank you.